Hi everyone, I'm Lalabad. Welcome. If you're new here, please take the time out to subscribe. Today I am making the filling for
Tamales de puerco en salsa roja. Muy
it.
buenos.
Okay, it's basically pork tamales with red sauce. And I'm starting off with the husks. And you need to soak them when you're going to make tamales. That's the first thing you should do. You should wash them out first because there's like little bugs and little hairs that might be on them. And soak them in warm water. And you might have to put something heavy on top of them to keep them down. If not, just make sure you rotate them constantly so that they can start to soften up. Sometimes you get lucky, you get a fresh bag and they're soft. And then sometimes you get a bag that's been there for a while and they're really, really hard. But that has to be your first step if you're going to make tamales. Again, this is part one. This is just the filling. And then I'm going to do a part two. So stay tuned. All right, so I purchased some pork fat. And it's just the fat. You can find this usually, you could maybe ask your butcher or go to a Mexican specialty store or international store where they sell unique foods from around the world. And usually, you know, those kind of stores, they use every part of a pig, a chicken, a cow. And so they also, I'm using carnita meat. It's meat specifically for carnitas. It's because it has a lot of fat, high fat content, to be honest with you. These are not healthy by any means, but to me these are authentic because you need that fat so it could taste good. Let's be real, fat is good.
Yeah.
It tastes good.
Delicious.
All right, so I have to put it in two separate pans because I wanted it to well, just because I didn't want to use a big pan. I wanted to keep that pan clean to cook the tamales in. So I'm using 2 garlic heads that I just chopped the top off. If you were going to do this all in one pan, then use 2 garlic heads because you still use 2 garlic heads. And then I'm cutting up onion that I just basically chopped the top off, cut in half with peel and all. I will be straining the broth. You will be needing the broth in this recipe, so just know that you have to strain it. And then I'm adding 2 bay leaves to each pan. And there's a garlic, the whole onion, and 2 bay leaves. Mm-hmm. By the way, I did wash the meat. The meat was washed. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of chicken powder or chicken bouillon, a tablespoon of salt, and half a tablespoon of pepper. You can use chicken broth, but I don't keep chicken broth on hand. I just keep the chicken powder on hand. It's a lot cheaper and it's a lot easier. And I'm just showing you in the other pan, just so you remember. It's 2 tablespoons of chicken powder, 1 tablespoon of salt, and half a tablespoon of black pepper.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Add water to I don't know, leave like an inch on top. And this is gonna cook for a while. I actually woke up around 5 o'clock in the morning, and I wasn't done until the end of the day, about 5.
Oh my God.
For everything because I had to get everything ready.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna make the salsa roja.
Yeah.
And I am using about 15 Guajillo peppers, and I believe like maybe 7 or 8 chili anchos. Yeah. I was looking for the pasilla peppers, but I couldn't find any. But you can also use those as well. And I'm also going to be using about 6 or 7 arbol chiles. Mm-hmm. But I thought that because they're really spicy. If you eat one of those, it's really, really spicy. So I thought, hey, Let me just use 6 or 7. No. It was not spicy at all. So maybe use more if you want a little spice. I cleaned them in water, and then I got some fresh water, filled that pan up, and you let them boil for about 30 minutes. You put them in a food processor, and then you strain. You want to strain the skin, and you want to strain the seeds. And when you do that, there you go. That is the salsa. The salsa de roja.
Salsa roja.
Salsa roja. Sorry, I don't know Spanish. I'm learning after 16 years still. And then that is the salsa that you would need for the meat filling, the tamales, for the puerco, for the pork.
The puerco.
And they're so smooth. You can use the sauce for a lot of. If you use different ingredients, add different ingredients. You can use that sauce for some enchiladas, or even for menudo. You can put in menudo or pozole.
Yeah.
All right, so here is the meat. I am checking if it's ready, and as you can see, the fork goes right through it, and when I touch it, it just kind of melts. So there's the carnita meat. There's the garlic. I'm checking both pans. This probably would have been easier in one pan, but I don't have big enough pans because again, we're just 2 people that live here in this house. We don't feed an army. But we made it work, right, baby?
Yeah. All
right, so.
Wait, though. That looks good.
It looks good? Yeah. You want some more?
Yeah.
We have some in the freezer. All right, so in a separate skillet. Now, if I had a big enough skillet pan, those heavy cast iron skillets, I would have used that, but I don't. So I'm using a basic large skillet. I'm putting in the fat and the carnita meat. I'm keeping the garlic, but I'm throwing away the bay leaf and the onion skin. And you're going to see in a little bit, I'm actually using a spoon to strain, like a straining spoon. See, there's all the skin, the onion, stuff. Yeah, the bad stuff. We used it already. We've used it, we've abused it, and we're done with it. All right. If you can see, I'm using a straining spoon to just take all that out. Again, you're going to keep that broth because you're going to need it for the meat, but you'll also need it for the masa, and that's going to be in a different video where I show you how to make the masa. All right, so basically just get a fork, and it's so tender and soft that it's just with a fork, boom, it shreds. Add the chili or the salsa roja.
Roja.
And then, of course, you're going to be adding the flavor. So the flavors are comino. I'm using about a tablespoon of comino. I'm using the broth because it has some salt in it.
Yes. Good.
It's about, I'm going to say like 3/4 cup of broth. Of course, you would, use however much you think you might need. You want it a little saucy. You want it to have some liquid in there.
Yeah. No, not dry.
Yeah, you don't want it dry. You never want dry meat in your tamale. All right, so I'm using my molcajete. This is the first time I'm using it. I did pre-season my molcajete. I don't know if you know, babe, but you have to pre-season. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day. But I'm using about 4 cloves of garlic. If I had fresh comino, I would have added fresh comino instead of the powdered ground up one. But I forgot about the comino. So, and that's when I would have added the comino with the garlic, and I would have done this together. But again, I just used the powder, which is fine. I'm using fresh garlic because it just has a better, I don't know, it's authentic. I wanted to make sure I left a little authenticity in this video. I added salt to help crush up the garlic. And there you have it, some garlic, fresh garlic.
Yeah, just have to go with it.
Just because I don't know Spanish don't mean I ain't Mexican, bro. I grew up with the molcajete too.
Really?
Don't get it twisted, hunty.
I don't know.
Baby, my mama always used a molcajete.
Oh.
She was broke. She couldn't afford the powders. Back then, the powders were expensive. All right, so as you can see, there's some residue, garlic residue that can still be used. I put some water in the molcajete. You didn't know I knew that, did you?
No.
And then you kind of swirl it around, and there you go. Boom, more garlic. Put that inside of the stewed pork and red sauce, and stir that up, and boom, that is your filling for your tamales. All right, so again, this is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. I don't know when I'll do that, but it will be soon, hopefully. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please take the time out to subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
Bye.